everybody. Welcome back to a brand new edition of Props and Parlays brought to you in part by Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, aka Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. I'm here with my guy over on the other side of the country, the legend himself. I'll let him do his introduction.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Cesar Marin, aka The Legend, here to help y'all out, man, with your boy Utica.
Yes, indeed. It's 2026, which marks the beginning of this Paramount era with UFC. So, we're here in particular tonight to break down fights on this card that we think in particular are not going to go the distance and, make parlay builds out of that. So, without further ado, we'll start things off with this first fight that we have interest in. It's going to be the heavyweight matchup taking place between Josh Hokett going up against Denzel Freeman. For me, yeah. So start things off. To be honest, you had sent me, what you had thought you were gonna be looking at for this card, and literally as soon as I looked at the list, it lined right up with everything that I was looking at myself. So, this one wasn't hard to call. I feel like at all. But this bout in particular to start, Josh Hokett versus Freeman. Yeah, I think that basically it's Hokett's fight to win, and being that he's trying to make a splash and doing his whole persona and things like that when he wins and stuff, he's gonna want to impress. It's a fight that they're giving him a pretty premier spot to be the card starter for a brand new era, or and he's not like the first fight or anything, but still, they're putting eyes on him. So I definitely think that he's going to go out there and get this done. If this fight does not, if this fight doesn't finish, it's because maybe Freeman was able to start out dogging him and make this a little boring and take it to the cards. But what are your thoughts on this?
I'm thinking that Freeman knows it's a good fight. I'm looking here in my book, back to when, yeah, um, I see the Hogan fight when he fought Jimenez. Jimenez was a brand new fighter. Hogan put him on his ass and knocked him out. And then I look back here when Freeman was supposed to fight, and that was a horrible fight. We wanted our money back for that fight, and I think that was even the first fight of the card.
I was
And we were like, "Oh, this is."
I was glad that I had slept through that one because that was one of those early morning, in the Middle East cards and shit like that. So I had woke up a little late, and I had picked Freeman for that card, but from what everybody was saying, it was like, man, if you missed this one, like, good on you, because that was fucking a horrible 3 rounds.
It was a waste of space and talent, especially the resume that Freeman had when he came in, coming from the other league that he was fighting in. You thought he was going to put on a show. Unfortunately, he didn't put on a show. It was dancing around the cage the entire time. So he owes us a fight. And I think Hokit is going to put his feet to the fire and make sure that we have a solid fight to be able to watch. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think this thing is going into the third. I will be scared. I'll be scared for my pocket and my parlay if this goes into the third round. But no, I don't see it happening.
Me neither. Me neither. Real quickly before we move on, shouts out to the chat. We got Fight Bloodline. Oh, my bad, man. It's never gonna end. I'm always gonna have a flub every time I try and mention this channel at some point. Fight Bloodline MMA is in the building. We also got Cash Cole, who is the host of that channel, joining us. He says Hoke it by decision. Ah,
Oh
go ahead and
man.
different show to watch, man. We talking about parlay bills on fight not go distance, man. We can't be putting that juju on the show right out the bat. And then we also got my bro host extraordinaire in the chat. We got Ray Bucks joining us. Give me my crown, hand me my belt. So shouts out to the team. But yeah, moving on to another bout on this card that this one I'll say is kind of like one of those ones where you can put it on there, but if you don't, it's not gonna be too much factor. But Ateba Gautier going up against Andre Puliev more than likely should end, before the cards. But it's just one of those things. It's kind of similar to what we just said. If this fight does find itself going to the cards, it's most likely because Puliev was able to figure something out and turn things into his favor. I actually picked Puliev, but it's because I think that he's gonna present an element to Gautier that they haven't seen before. But that's mostly just
A brand new face to punch.
that's all. It's mostly just kind of like for like my picks and predictions show and for the UFC tracker. Uh, but when it comes to this type of show, I mean, I just think that this fight, regardless, shouldn't go to the distance. But I do believe that the finishing probability falls way on Gautier. So if he's not able to get it done, then I'm not sure. But yeah, I what are your thoughts on this one?
I think that again, I think there's a reason why this guy's 1600. I'm sorry, minus 1200. That's Nurmagomedov who's at minus 1600. But yeah, why? Because he doesn't. Gutier has shown, and or Gutier, how you say his name, has shown in the previous fights that he's a force to be reckoned with. He is an object that is coming barreling down the way, and he's just another item in his way. Um, I'm looking here at the kind of caliber of guys that had two fights that went to the cards. All the other one finished one way or another. You got Gautier. All other fights finished with a KO or a TKO, and it wasn't like they were all against slouches. I mean, yeah, maybe initially those first two of them on his UFC fire before he got to the UFC. But once he got to the UFC, he was fighting quality dudes. So
Yeah, I mean,
UFC fighters.
I guess for like long shot underdog statistics, for my picks and predictions, yeah, I went with Puliev. I also think that he could, gas Gautier out, and then potentially finish him as well. So regardless, I'm looking for this fight not to finish, but I also think that yeah, it's Gautier's fight to just stalk homeboy and just put him out. So that's what I'm looking forward to, even if it does mean I don't get a pick on the other end of the spectrum. But moving on to
Real quick,
matchup, we got
real quick,
yeah,
real quick. Yeah, you look at Puliev. You do have a point. There is a chance that he might be able to just outlast him. His last two fights were all the way to the end. They were even though they were they were 3 5 minute round fights. Or so he pass just sweeps them either in the second round. I do have a way of betting this to because you're looking at it. Not to go the distance was like minus 1,000.
okay,
You pretty much knew that it wasn't going to go the distance. But
yeah.
if you take him like minus 2.5, under 2.5 rounds, it drops it down to like minus 650. So it adds a little bit of value to your card if you do that like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Now that you mention it, like let's see here. If you were to remove this, originally, at least according to DraftKings, the fights that we have set up, have us at a certain point, and if you take that fight off, it really doesn't drop it too much. So this would be one of those ones I would say, kind of have one that's set up with it in there, with a little less on the line, and then have one set up without them in there, just kind of just to hedge the bet, if anything.
Yeah, it's risk. It's risk versus reward. Like is this one leg that's going to get you an extra $9, $10 really worth losing the entire parlay for?
Yeah.
So I get you on that.
Dope, dope, dope. Moving on to another one that I mean, this one has finish written all over it. We got Arnold Allen going up against Jean Silva. This is going to be Jean Silva looking to bounce back from what I think he even knows was a super fumble of opportunity. he definitely could have seen himself fighting for a title had he not gotten so. I guess he was feeling himself too much and was trying to be the aggressor in that Lopez fight and ended up kind of leaving himself out there to be, tagged. And that's what happened. And I think had he fought a little more measured of a fight, it's not to say Lopez still wouldn't have won, but it would have been a lot more competitive. I feel like that last fight kind of dropped his stock a little bit. So I feel like he's actually coming back with a vengeance in this fight. And he's coming back against Arnold Allen, who he's a guy who definitely comes to fight as well. Possibly a little more measured of the two. But I think the thing that really sets this one apart is Allen's coming off a pretty lengthy layoff and a layoff that was due to like multiple injuries that he sustained. And I just feel like not only is it just like catching up to fight speed, but then you're dealing with somebody who literally is a killer. So I just feel like unless Allen comes out hot early, which I'm fine with, go ahead, bro. Fucking put the pedal to the metal right away. I'm cool with that. But I definitely see this going in Jean Silva's favor. But either way, if both guys come to fight the way that I know they can, this is definitely going to end before 3 rounds. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, in my book I have right here, it says Allen, since he lost to Max, not the same. It's gonna go to he's gonna try to take it to the cards. Silva, he's coming for that ass. That young man is on fire. You said he's got a point to prove, and Allen is gonna be his statement because he knows if he goes through Allen, there's a chance that he's maybe 2 fights away from getting a nod or something like that to be in line for a title shot. So he knew it. He knew it when he had that Lopez fight. Like you said, he didn't do well.
I think the Lopez fight wasn't a good look, but I do believe a spectacular finish tomorrow over Allen can put him right back in the conversation, pretty much like how you said. But even in a way that almost like washes away that loss, and he could literally just, depending on who wins the next fight, find himself still being the next up in line just because UFC, from what the rumor mill says, they're definitely their main focus of 2026 is entertaining fights and, thinning the herd, in terms of anybody who isn't there to try and finish fights every time they go in there. So um, I think that John Silva is going to make it happen, and if he doesn't, then he's going to leave himself out there again, and Arnold's going to tag him because Arnold doesn't beat around the bush. He gets to it as well. So
No, he's hungry, man. Like he's done multiple fight camps. So think about how many times he's been in the gym, sacrificed time away from the family for a fight that may happen, and they say, "Oh no, the doctor said we can't do it." So I mean, he's probably pissed. He's probably hungry. He wants to go out there and put on the show. So you're absolutely right. Silva leaves his neck out there or exposes himself in a position where Allen, who's been on the mat getting nothing but mat time and glove time, can see it and sees. Absolutely. So yeah, it's a win-win for us. Either
yeah,
he wins or he loses, and we're good.
definitely. All right, moving on to another heavyweight matchup in our lineup. We have Waldo Cortez Acosta going up against Derek Lewis. I'm excited about this one. I mean, Cortez Acosta went on a nice little run, especially towards the end of 2025. And then Derek Lewis is always, fun to watch. Um, Live to win the fight at any time. I think Cortez Acosta does possess the speed advantage. I just don't know if he is going to be able to knock Derek Lewis out or put him in a position to where, he can TKO him or something like that. I just feel like I just see Derek Lewis tagging him. That's just what I see. It's going to happen. It only needs to happen once. And whereas with Cortez Acosta, I think he's going to have to, overwhelm him series of punches or catch him clean, and then while he's on skates, try and finish it off there. But this fight could become boring because Cortez Acosta is known to be a little measured at some points, especially when he's going up against those heavy hitters, and isn't shy about like clinching, and making it more of a clinch battle against the cage. But if you know rumors are true, then he's well aware that he can't be out there making this fight boring, or he could start losing his stock right away. So when in reality, if you go back to before that little 2-fight streak that he put together where he was able to turn around real quick, he wasn't very high up, in terms of just like somebody that you want to see on the card. He had lost to Sergey Pavlovich not too long before that, and he was kind of in limbo, but he was able to put some things together. So I know he's definitely looking to make this entertaining too, but I don't know. I just feel like Derek Lewis is going to tag him, and I don't see a world where this fight goes to the finish unless Cortez decides to play it super safe, in which case he could win and still lose at the end of the day in terms of just his standing with the company. So what are your thoughts on this one?
That
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
think about that. Right, let's go. We're into another fight camp. This is what we do. So he's going to come in ready to throw hands, ready to bang. He's coming in hungry, knowing that he knocks this motherfucker out. He's going to be on the next fight card, hopefully on the White House card. So he's only going to have to fight maybe 2 times a year.
mm-hmm.
He fights twice this year, now and in the summer, and then he's done. You know, they're going to come out hungry. And these two Grizzlies are going to bang. It's going to be two Grizzlies and one honeypot. Who's going to take it? So, yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Hey, chat, let us know if you continue to not hear sound. Oh, my Ray Bucks is saying he couldn't hear your breakdown. Can,
All right,
can
hold
you
on one
hear
second.
us? Let us know when you can hear both of us, Ray.
Hold on one second, man. My bad. Ah. All right, we good?
Check, 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 Ray. Let us know. Can you hear? Can you hear Cesar? Okay, he's here.
Yo, hello? Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, just real quick, I guess, just a more condensed version of what we were just talking about.
A fight between the two
Yes.
Grizzlies? Okay. Yeah, Waldo Acosta's he's fought 5 times this last year. Lewis fights once a year. He fought once last year. Acosta fought 4 times the year before that. So I mean, Acosta has a higher tempo. He's ready to bang. Lewis, he's ready to get a paycheck, knowing that he does well in this fight. He might be able to eat again for that White House ticket. So yeah, I think both these Grizzlies want to get some money.
Definitely, definitely. All right. Moving on to the last fight we have in our main lineup. We're going to talk about potentially a couple outliers on this fight card that you might want to add in, just spice things up if you're thinking about it. But the last matchup on this lineup we've put together, which will come out to 5 matchups total. Uh, well, actually, it'll come out to 6 matchups. I have to add back the Ateba Gautier and Pouliot fight. But anyways, we got
Yeah.
the event. We got Justin Gaethje going up against Patty Pimblett. And yeah, I mean, either this fight takes place primarily on the feet and Gaethje just picks him apart and eventually just, opens up a finish at some point, or Pimblett's able to mix it up and or just get really grapple heavy, get Gaethje to the ground, and I've seen how Pimblett does. He's nasty on the ground, and I also think that it's funny that Justin Gaethje in the press conference said that he reminds him of Khabib, which I did not take that well at all as a comment because I'm like, bro, Khabib did you dirty first off, and just like, yeah, I think he gave you PTSD when you got folded up by Charles Oliveira. And I just don't think he really likes these grappler dudes, but he knows it's his only route to the championship. So I know that's something he's had to have trained and shored up as best he can. He has wrestling experience, but he's just been so caught up in, you know, separating people from their consciousness that I feel like he's strayed away to his own what do I want to say, to his own disadvantage. And so I just don't see a world where this goes 5 rounds. I think these guys need 3 rounds max to get this one over. And like I said, if it takes place on the feet, it's going to be Gaethje just lighting him the fuck up. And if it ends up going to the ground, it's either because Gaethje got rocked and then got, submitted while he was on skates, or Pimblett just gets straight to it, gets him to the ground, and then, chokes him out. But either way, this fight should not go to distance. I feel like a great way to cap off a card that's going to, start off a relationship with a new partnership that you got going with another broadcasting company. So, this was a good matchup. Definitely folks wanted to see a real undisputed title fight, but at the end of the day, this is still going to be a banger. So what are your thoughts on this one?
I think they were smart in their marketing. I think they were smart in their matchmaking, especially to bring eyes from both sides across the water. They go to London for fights, they go to UK for fights. You've got one of their top guys, talking about they did an interview. Who do you hate more? Uh, so Sarukian or the other soccer team was like, man, forget that. That's crazy. I'm Manchester United all the way. So yeah, they bring all that. They bring all that energy. But yeah, what I think about this fight is Patty's a baddie. It's gonna be a crazy one, man. It's gonna be a crazy one. He's gonna probably sleep him, whether it be night night with a chokehold, maybe a darts. I don't know. But yeah, I don't. It's either that or he gets slept by Gaethje, like you said. Gaethje's either. I'd say Gaethje's gonna have about two fire rounds. That first round, they're gonna feel each other out, and he already knows how to do this. Think about it. I want to say this is his fifth, his fifth attempt at a title shot or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
So he's been in a fight camp like this. He's this is Patty's first. He's been in here. He's been in these 5 round fights. Patty's never been in a 5 round fight. So if he does get to that's why I don't think he's gonna go all five,
And the
because he's gonna step on the gas. Go
And the
ahead.
couple times that Pimblett's been to decision, he fucking squeaked away with it. Like
Yeah.
literally, he against Tony Ferguson looked fucking pretty bad.
He
Um,
was red like a lobster, man.
yeah,
Just from the whooping and just being just like so gassed. Yeah.
and then that one that I actually think he lost against Jared Gordon, but that's just how things go sometimes.
They weren't letting
So
Wonder Boy lose. Come on now. You know that.
That's and that's what I chalk it up to. So I just feel like in this one, literally, um, if he's not able to get Gaethje down, it's going to start looking rough for him. And I think Gaethje definitely get him out of there in 3 rounds max. And
Yeah.
then I feel like at any point, maybe unless this gets outside of the third round, if Patty gets any takedowns outside of like 3 rounds, I see him, getting Gaethje the fuck up out of there quick, fast too. So, that's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping for.
I kind of want to. I mean, I want to see how they walk out. I want to see how they look. If it looks like Patty's ready, he's engaged, he's hyped. If Gaethje looks like he put on a lot more water weight, he looked bare bones when they did the walk in or the weigh in the other day. But you know how that is, man. Everybody's trying to make weight. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice card. They were very, very smart in what they did. They wanted to bring you guys a show, all of us a show. So yeah, I think it'll be a fun card, man. It's a money making card.
Definitely, definitely. Are there any outlier fights that you see potentially on this card that if you were to spice things up, or just throw something in there that kind of drives up the odds, and you're not throwing whatever it would be on your main lineup.
And I just make just one. That's how you don't just catch a fish with one cast. You gotta keep on casting, man. So so yeah, I had that Hernandez fight. I had that on there, and I want to say who else did I have on here? Yeah, the Hernandez. We said Allen. We said Hokit. Yeah, that Hernandez fight is pretty much what I was thinking. We
Yeah.
said we said Krylov and we already said the
Oh
Krylov fight, right?
no, I don't think we even went over the Krylov Bukowskis fight.
Bro, that's
Yeah, yeah, Bukowskis is gonna either wreck him, because Krylov's let his jaw go, or he's gonna get over aggressive and just leave himself out there, or Krylov gets back to what he knows best, comes out fucking fast and either cracks Bukowskis or gets him to the ground and chokes him out. Like Krylov is dangerous. It's just he's just had a bad set of fights. These past two, he just got cracked, and it just makes you wonder where his chin's at. But I mean, either way, it bodes well in our favor, regardless.
yeah. I mean, the way I got it here is Bukak. I'm so good. I almost said his name, all kinds of fucked up. Bukaukis. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
wait to the
Yeah,
that was in that five legger. That was in that five legger of the guaranteed ones that I sent you.
yeah, yeah.
So
So right now, okay, so let's just run it down real quick. We had Hokit Freeman, Alan Silva, Cortez Acosta, Lewis, Gaethje Pimblett, um,
and got
and yeah, and then we also had Krylov and Bukowskis in there for 6. If you pull the Gautier versus Puliev out of there, that wouldn't be a bad idea, just because you never know how things could end up going in that. Um, but then yeah, another you said an outlier was Alexander Hernandez versus Michael Johnson, which I'm totally on board, because he it really just takes one good, nice right hook, or just a nice right from Hernandez, and he could put uh, Johnson's lights out anytime. Johnson, he's cool. He could light up Hernandez and potentially open up a finish, but really, I just think that his chin is compromised. And if you look at his record, some of those finishes, where he's gotten knocked out, have came directly from, right crosses to the grill.
fresh meat, man. He's not fresh meat, but almost like he's ready. He's ready to get knocked the f out. That's what he's ready. Um, yeah, I feel like not only is Hernandez 6 years younger, but they fought about the same time. Uh, Johnson fought twice since December. I mean, yeah, I think they're ready. They're being 6 younger and having just as an impressive resume as he does, I think he's one of those that you should consider, especially when they came out and I saw what they're looking like. Yeah, again, if you want a lot better to wait and keep some money on that, and then just throw it out when they walk out for it not to finish. I think it was like around minus. That one was like minus 250 or something like that. It wasn't crazy, so you might get some money.
Okay, okay. One I want to throw out there real quick. What do you, especially after today's weigh-ins, we had a fight fall off the card. We now have 12 fights on this card when it originally was 14. Of course, the co-main fell out, but today at the weigh-ins we had Cameron Smotherman, who I didn't pick this fight to not end up going to the card. So this is neither here nor there. But Smotherman did end up fainting basically when he got off the scales, so they pulled that card. I say that to say though that we had another person who looked crazy on the scales, but their fight is going to go through, and that was Davidson Figueiredo, who's set to face Umar Nurmagomedov tomorrow. Figgy, I mean, he comes to fight, but then there's also times where it doesn't even look like he wants to be in there. Umar, he has all the tools to be a killer. I just don't think he's like in his soul. He's a killer. He's just Nurmagomedov, so that's what they do. Is they're just high level MMA athletes. But at the end of the day, like there's a difference between like a Makachev and Khabib as opposed to like an Umar Nurmagomedov, where sometimes he just manages fights. He doesn't necessarily go in there to win. He just goes in there not to lose. And I think his stock has dropped since then because he's so afraid of losing that he just goes in there and just kind of is very measured. And I think it's made for some poor performances here as of late. But given the way Figgy looked on that scale, I think even with him just trying to manage the fight, he could potentially just be taking advantage of a very depleted Figueiredo at this point. So you have any thoughts on this one? I'm definitely thinking about this one's going to be in just like some alternate lineups, just for fun.
Okay, like I'm gonna tell you right now, just like I told my boy Eric at work. He said the same exact shit. He goes, "Bro, did you see the weigh-in?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You think we can get it on the on the Smotherman fight?" I go, I mean, he probably gets beat up more by and his family than he will ever in the cage. But I that's why he lasts. That's why he can make it all the way to the cards. So I don't know.
Yeah, nah, for sure, for sure. Ray in the chat, Ray Bucks, let us know what how we sounding, how we looking. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Um, nah, man, that I think that he definitely could take advantage of this. He just needs to just get to it. But I feel like Nurmagomedov has a little bit of a cardio issue. Whether it's because he tries so hard to get fools out of there right away, or because he's maybe not built for the duration. So I think that this one is an interesting one that people should just for a fun little outlier alternate lineup, you should put something on that. But yeah. So as it stands, those were about like the 8 fight. If you put together every fight we went over, all 8 of them, then you'd be looking at a plus 2,400 line right there. So
Oh, eight. We got
yeah,
eight.
yeah. If you went all 8 that we outliers included and all that, then it'd be a 2,400 line. But if you go with just our straight 6 that we went with, so let me take this one out and then let me see. Which one else? This. Um. Oh shit, that wasn't the one I wanted to take out. Neither was that one.
Real quick. So I
Yeah.
got that five. So without I put a $50 one in. Got a plus three. So that's Gautier not to finish, Krylov not to finish, Allen not to finish, Acosta not to finish, and Gaethje and Pimlet not to finish. That five-legger pays out at plus 347.
Okay.
And then that's that seven-legger that we were talking about. That's the Hokit, Johnson, Krylov, Gautier. But for Gautier, the budget or the value is taking it under 2.5 rounds. I mean, if you take it out to finish, I mean, what was that? He's gonna. The odds went from -1,000 to -650. So if you took it under 2.5 rounds, it went to -650. So Gautier under 2.5. Allen not to finish, Acosta not to finish, and Pimblett not to finish. That was at plus 1295.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that, I mean, that's not bad, you know.
Nah, nah. Oh, you're good. What do you think?
Hard Rock bet was set up. It allowed me to put Hokie Freeman not to finish and any fighter to win by TKO. I don't see anybody subbing anybody in that fight. I see a knockout happening. So that took that fight because if I took Hokie not to finish, it was -400. If I put um, anybody not to win by TKO, it was like -220. But when I put both of them together, it wound up being plus 125. So if you
Nice.
add the Hokie, so Hokie not to finish, to win by knockout just for that fight. And then Krylov and Bukakis under 2.5 rounds. Allen, Acosta, and Gaethje. That was plus 1,012, and I put 50 on that. 50 got me 550. So we'll see how that
Uh,
works.
yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it
I
a
mean, I
lot.
can send you. I can send you screenshots of them, and you can do your little magic thing later for the yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Sure. And then yeah, I mean, and then just our base six pick, according to DraftKings over here where I'm at, that's a plus 550. So
girl,
that's nice. That's nice work. And
yeah.
then like I said, if you take out the Gautier Puliev fight, you're still looking at plus 501. So, if I was to say if there was any fight on this lineup that I'm, a little iffy about, it would be that one.
Why?
So
What? This. I mean,
I just feel,
my
I
mind's
just
probably
feel
gonna run
like
out of juice before you can tell me. But why? What is it? I mean, is it
just
because the way
Gautier.
it's set up? Is it because of the way Vegas has it? Like the odds? Is it the public? What?
I see this scenario potentially where Gautier, comes out too strong and isn't able to find that finish and then just becomes exhausted. But Puliev, because he's too afraid still to get tagged, I don't think I think he'll still play it safe and just try and win the fight then at that point. And then
No way,
just it'll
bro.
just
He's
be
not.
like boring.
He's only had two cards. He's only had two fights that go to cards. The other fights that he's fought, Puliev has, he's either he's got knocked the fuck out because he got too crazy and too wild and exposed himself, or he knocked the dude out. Like I mean, nah. And that's why I'm curious. Is just because he's won so much, he's due for a loss, and even if he is due for a loss, Puliev is not going to play with his food. He needs a win.
Yeah, no, no, you're 100% correct, and that's the scenario I'm looking for. I'm just saying, I guess when I look at the lay of every fight, that's just the one that sticks out to me. That could be that not like a fraud check, but just the one where everything that you thought was 100% going to happen could just potentially go to shit because Gautier wasn't able to just get it done right away. But is there anything when you look at it? Is there any that you see that kind of, you're iffy on or on the fence about?
Yeah. So like, because I had like a couple. You make your ideas and then you go back. You make your ideas and then you go back. So originally, when I looked at it, the only one I had the most hesitation about would be that Johnson Hernandez fight, and then we put that to the side. But
Mhm.
nah, man, Acosta Lewis. I mean, Lewis said he practices crotch kicks and eye gouges. Like he trains for him, bro. Said on the regular, bro, on the regular. That's what I train for. Um, that Silva, he's hungry, man. You already saw it. He's trying to build a brand. He's trying to build a personality. He even did it in the presser, staying
Yep.
with the crazy stuff. Pressing Dana for the money, saying, "Hey, let us two autistic guys get some extra cash. We'll fight and bang."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the Gautier fight. Look, they're both hungry. That one, Krylov, they're big as fuck. They're nah, yeah, nah. The only one I had if someone's on was maybe that Justin Hernandez fight, and I pushed that to the side. The only thing I wish is I had more money to be able to spend. My wife would get pissed. So I only got so much. I got to win more. Hopefully, these props I put in for tonight hit, and then I'll have more money to spend. But that's about it.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. Another successful edition of Props and Parlays with your boy Utica here at Bros Talk MMA and the legend Cesar Marin. Make sure that you go subscribe to their channel. Because they do a lot more than just this MMA stuff. They cover the board in terms of sports. So, if you're looking for your NBA props, if you're looking for your NFL props, soon to be Major League Baseball props, make sure
And we
that
got
boy
AFC, NFC championship games coming up, man. Come on now. We got games this Saturday.
football
I got
prop.
I got a video dropping tomorrow for the games that are coming on Sunday. So yeah, check them out.
Real quick, Ray Bucks in the chat said, throw us an NBA prop real quick off the
All
top
right,
of the.
what games we got? Because I got stuff for the late games too. What we doing?
Let's see here. Let's
Hold
see.
on. Are you gonna mess up my let me check. Let me see what's going on. Who's
Right
who's playing?
now, tomorrow. Let's see. Tomorrow we're looking at Wizards, Hornets, Knicks, Sixers, Warriors, Timberwolves, Cavaliers, Magic, Celtics, Bulls,
Oh,
Lakers,
Oh,
and
okay. So look, you guys already know. If you like and subscribe to my channel, you already know I'm a Bulls lover.
yep.
Yeah. So they get me paid. They hit on the Cavs hit for this one. So if anything, I tell you for like, how about that? How about this? For those four games, Knicks, Warriors, Cavs, Magic, I'll give you two from each game. I give you
Okay.
Maxi for two threes. Um, yeah, Maxi for two threes, Edgecombe for 1 3. We got,
Okay.
you already know, Ant Man for two threes. My boy Rudy Gobert, we already know how many? Eight. Get him for the eight.
Down you, bro.
Okay.
Eights all day.
Look, I would say this, man. Steph has always been. I always put him for the three threes. But bro, for the last two games, he's been screwing me on the three threes thing. Blitzminski, usually he's good for 1 3 10 points. He's been screwing me too. So I don't know. I'd probably fade them on that one. Probably just do Gobert for the 8 rebounds, Ant-Man for the two threes.
Yep.
Randall, 15 points. And then when you go to
Yo,
Magic. Now, the one thing you got to understand about the Magic is they're the number one team they're the number one team that runs other teams off that 3 point line. Like anybody who shoots threes, they drop their numbers. Luca, he'll shoot 4 threes, he makes two against them. So there's only a couple of guys like Trey Murphy the third, he made 4 threes on him. Like there's a couple of guys who might be able to do it because of the way they rotate the ball and the way they space, but usually Orlando's good. So with Orlando, you got look, Anthony Black, we're gonna take it easy on him. 10 points, 1 3. Bang. I take him for the 3 assists, okay? Because when I take him for the 15 points, he gets 14. Take him for
yeah.
the 3 assists. If you're gonna go for the Cavs, uh, Donovan Mitchell, they're playing right now. 2 3s, Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley, at least 10 to 12 points if you can. Um, that's what I'm gonna give you. I'll give you two. And the Bulls, you gotta check out my channel tomorrow, man. Check out my channel
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'll go ahead and drop the full stuff for you.
Bulls, you got to put Vucevic down for 10 points at least.
Bro, 10 points, 1-3, and the rebounds at least 6. But we're supposed to talk about that tomorrow.
Nugs Bucks just started, Ray, so I don't think we can bust anything out. It's already
Oh,
6
no, I
3
put
in
money
the
on
first
Nugs
quarter.
Bucks. Let me see what I put for Nugs Bucks.
Okay.
What I
Spoke
put
too
for-
soon.
Hold on, let me check this real quick. Damn, Nugs Bucks just started. Yeah, I did. What did I put? I put Nugs Bucks. Nugs. Nope. Oh, they put shit for Nugs Bucks. Yeah, this one. Nope, you asked out, Ray.
Make sure that you like this episode. Make sure that you subscribe to the
Ray, I'm
channel.
gonna text you, man. I'll send it to you, Ray. I'll send it to you.
There you go. But yeah, folks, once again, thank you for joining us here for props and parlays with my guy Cesar Marin. We have fights tomorrow, finally, y'all. We finally are back. You know, fight season has begun. So
Yeah, baby.
be prepared to see us every fight week on Fridays, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, just be ready to build these fight parlays, get to this money. Once again, we specialize in fights that are not to go the distance. So, hey, if you have lineups or fights that you feel like we should be looking at,
Yeah.
put them in the comments. And yeah, we'll be back here next Friday to cover UFC 325 taking place in Sydney, Australia. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah,
with y'all.
mate.
It's like a 15-14 fight card, but like 5 of them Jones are road to UFC fights, so I'm not even gonna cover them shits. So we got about like 10 fights to go over on that one. But other than that, y'all, we got fights tomorrow. We got football going on, so it's gonna be an active weekend. So I hope everybody has a wonderful time. And yeah, you got any parting words, Cesar, before we go?
Nah, man, let's make some money, yo. If you watch the channel and you listen to the picks, and let's make some money. You ain't got to take all of them. Take the ones you like. Toss the ones you don't like, and then hit us in the comments to say which ones hit. Let's go. Dang, you
Again,
frozen, bro.
this Bros Talk MMA, Cesar Martin, the legend. Until the next time, we are out.